wanted to meet with you because I was told that you're the first Black chief of police.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm going to tell you about myself, but just want to know a little bit about you.
Sure.
Because I don't know that much, except that you're the first. So tell me a little bit about you.
So, a little bit about me. I started my career in 1996 in law enforcement, actually with the Lexington Police Department, and I transferred to the Framingham Police Department in 2003, where I worked in various units and rose to the ranks of sergeant, lieutenant, deputy chief, and now chief. I've been very involved in the youth in the city. PAL boxing program, community groups, Bigs in Blue program, which is Big Brothers, Big Sisters partnered with police officers.
Okay.
Some other mentoring, some roundtables and things like that. And just my vision of the city is just to, my motto is simply just treat people the way you want to be treated. And,
exactly.
I just strive to make our police department one of the best in the Commonwealth, if not the best in the country and around the world. And a commitment to this community. That's what I'm about. I strongly believe in getting out there. I truly believe that children are where it's at. You got to look after your children. I know one of the things you want to talk to me was about children and their fear of police officers.
Yes.
That's something very strong to me. Back when I was appointed deputy chief, I started a reading program where, just for that very reason, I simply wanted police officers to go in, and I partnered with a teacher, Mrs. Golden, where we decided we'd start at about the second grade, and police officers in uniform go in and they read a book to second graders.
Wow.
And that way, the book is very quick, but the bigger part of that, it also teaches kids that reading's great, but what we do after that is for a good 20 or 30 minutes, we just have a conversation with kids, and they learn to realize that.
What age was that?
Second grade.
Second grade,
Second grade. So they're, we're just having a conversation to let you know we're just simple human beings. We probably attend some of the same places. Some, we may go to the same church. We may live in the same neighborhood.
Yes.
And it's just it just breaks down that barrier. And I truly, when you emailed me, that was one of the things that caught my eye, because I truly believe that we don't need divide. We need to basically understand people.
So what would you say, first of all, that was a wonderful initiative, working with the youth, especially at that age, because you are influencing them at a very, very young age. I think I'm not sure where this happened. I am from Miami. I moved here about 5 years ago. And I think it was either one of my grandchildren or a little cousin. When they saw the police, they started crying because they were afraid that, the worst was going to happen. Kids think that, oh my God, the police is going to get you.
Oh, yeah.
So, you starting that initiative at that age, I commend you on that. And I know even in today's climate, many mothers, I am one of them. I have a 32-year-old, a 30-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Long story. But at least 5 times a week, especially being in Miami, a Black young man, I wonder what's going to happen if he's stopped. What would you say to the residents here in Framingham, the mothers here in Framingham, and to all of my followers who are watching nationwide, mothers who are concerned about their sons and even their daughters being stopped by the police? What would you recommend they do?
So obviously there's ways to carry yourself with being stopped. That's not the time for confrontation. Everything you're taught, even if you disagree with the officer, there's a time to do that later.
Yeah.
You cooperate, and I know by all means that's not comforting to everybody, and I'm not blind to that. With that being said, it's my job, and we do it within our police department. We have those tough conversations that, even though you're walking up to someone's car, your intentions, you're not looking at their skin color. Your intentions you may be doing an investigation. It may just be a simple traffic stop. But we as police officers have to understand that just simply by our presence, somebody may truly be in fear. And that's why you got to take that time. You have to listen. All that went on around the country this summer, it made people take a step back. I've been doing this for a long time, and sometimes you're quick to dismiss somebody because of your own character.
Yes.
When I say that, your character is, I'm a good person. You shouldn't be scared of me.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be scared of me. And you have to pause for a moment and just realize your uniform, things that may have happened, may have an effect on somebody. So when you can just take a moment, put yourself in them shoes, and just kind of let everybody calm down, listen to people, and that's what we're teaching our police officers today. I mean, we've been doing that, but it's brought attention to it.
Yeah.
And I hope we learn from the mistakes of others. Just like, not everybody you stop is bad. Not all police officers are bad.
It's the truth.
We just simply need to put ourselves in other people's shoes. And I have a very simple model that I give to the men and women that work with me. Simply treat people the way you want to be treated. And I take it a step further. I always say, treat people the way you would want them to treat your mother.
Your mother, oh wow.
Because you
wow.
When your mother goes, that's your utmost.
Don't mess with mom.
Don't mess with mom.
Be gentle with mom.
And that's gotta go for both sides of this.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't even be sides. I shouldn't even use that word. But that goes for all of us.
Yeah. I think it's a two-way street.
It absolutely is.
I tell my son, I say to him, and I was telling this to my husband too, I said, I think the biggest problem is most people, when they're stopped, they try everything in their power not to get arrested and not to go to jail. So what do? You start talking back to the officer. Your heart starts beating fast. You begin to get angry and upset because you don't want to get arrested or go to jail. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, if the cop already determined that you're going to jail, you're going to jail. So what I tell the other mothers and my son, I said, be compliant, be respectful, and go to jail if you have to. That's the bottom line. You can't stop him from taking you to jail. Just go. Just go, right. And then get out.
and what you just said is the same thing we're teaching officers. This person may have done something that they have to go to jail for, but we're saying, go in there, start here, don't start here.
Yes.
But it's a two-way street. I watched a great video that said de-escalation is a two-way street. So we want our officers to de-escalate, which we have been doing for the longest of time. But we also need cooperation of the person we're dealing with.
Yes.
We got to find that middle ground. So, like I started in the beginning, you may disagree with what's going on,
right,
but that is not the time nor the place.
It's not going to change.
There has to,
oh, they can, but
I've arrested a lot of people, and sometimes it's not pretty. It's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to go well.
Right.
But we got, you got to start down there. Both sides can't be up here. And police officers have been doing that for a very, very long time. I'm proud of the work that we do here with our jail diversion program. We were one of the first police departments across the country to have clinicians embedded in our police department.
Okay.
So that's that's our culture. And long before it became popular, that was our culture.
All right, let me address this. I became a part of this organization, Mrs. America, because Mrs. America is not simply a beauty pageant. Yes, we love getting dressed up and looking pretty and glowing, but Mrs. America, the Mrs. America pageant system embraces married women and the community activities that they're involved in. So I saw a chance for me to bring awareness to my passion, a little bit about me. I told you I'm from Miami. I was born in the Bahamas. I have 3 children, 4 grandchildren, relocated here to start over because my husband died in Israel. I wasn't able to attend the funeral. A lot of stuff happened that was very traumatizing. But my little boy wanted to see snow. So I called an aunt in Boston. I said, is there snow in Boston? She said, yeah. I said, can we come for a week? She said, yeah. A week has turned into 5 years. I remarried, but that passion for what I went through is heightened. I'm passionate now have been passionate about working with widows, women who've lost a loved one, whether a spouse or a child. So the Mrs. America organization gives me the opportunity to bring awareness to that cause because many people don't understand what widows go through. You have to live with grief. I tell the women all the time, there's no getting over it. You learn to live with it. There's confusion, there's neglect, there's depression, So what I want to ask you is, how have you seen the experience of widows or women who lost a police officer that was their husband who was a police officer? I mean, is there like a program in place for these women? Because I have read before that, I've seen online that some officers usually come to the aid of these women. Is there something in place, or is it just something that all the officers do from the kindness of their hearts?
Yeah, so if it's in the line of duty, there's numerous organizations that help women out that have lost their husbands, even for males that have lost their wives in the line of duty. And it usually comes in the form of monetary.
Okay.
But what you're saying now, the bigger thing would be, the monetary is great, but what about the mental health later? There's numerous outreach programs. And I can say in this profession, when I started, you didn't ask for help, whether it be for yourself or your spouse.
Right.
And now it's gone the other way.
Good.
Whether it's something to do with mental health, whether living or somebody that's passed on, the resources that are available and being taken advantage of, they're bountiful.
Oh, that's great.
It's just a matter of getting that information out there. But for our specific department, we have not had a line of duty death in quite some time. Thank God. And but there are numerous. We do have people here that have family members that have passed on, that it wasn't their time and things like that. And there is outreach, and departments themselves, the unions, the organizations within the department are definitely there monetarily, but there are numerous resources for that mental health component afterwards as well. Especially
during COVID, is when I really launched the organization to help the widows, because there was COVID, isolation, social distancing, and I thought many of the women would want monetary assistance, groceries, money. That's not what they wanted. They wanted someone to talk to. Because even their family members are like, okay, get over it. They don't want to hear about it all the time. It's like, you need to move on. Chief, there's no moving on. There's living with.
I would think that would be the last thing to say to someone.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Get over it. Move on. But so that's wonderful. And also, I think that's it for now.
Okay.
I think that's it for now. Is there anything you would like to say to my social media followers this is our first chief of police here in the city of Framingham.
Well, the first
African American
chief of police. I'm actually the chief of police. I just want to say that it was a pleasure meeting you. The topics that you wanted to discuss, children and bringing police together, near and dear to my heart. I look forward to working with you.
Yes.
How I can help. I think the work that you're doing is incredible. What you just, brought to light too. Those are the things that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about that. It's an uncomfortable conversation, but obviously it needs to happen. You opened my eyes, and I think as we grow together, as we heal together with police and what went on, that we have to work together.
Yes.
And I think that's how we get better.
All right, ladies, you heard it from the chief's mouth. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Cynthia Blunt Price McLean, your Mrs. Framingham, going on to Mrs. America and Mrs. Massachusetts. Thank you.